Welcome back to the channel where we talk about rare coins, hidden treasures, and jaw-dropping stories from the world of coin collecting. If you've ever wondered if that quarter in your pocket could be worth more than a luxury car or even a house, then stick around, because today's story is going to blow your mind. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into the 1980 P. Washington quarter, a coin that most people have probably used at a laundromat, dropped into a parking meter, or handed over for a soda. But what if I told you that one of these very same coins once sold for an unbelievable $1.6 million? Yes, you heard that right, $1.6 million for a single Washington quarter from 1980. And it all started with a tiny letter. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design features his profile on the front and an eagle with outstretched wings on the back. For decades, that design remained largely unchanged and became one of the most iconic coins in American pockets. Now, let's talk about the 1980 P quarter. The P stands for Philadelphia, which is one of the primary mints in the United States. That year, the Philadelphia Mint struck more than 635 million quarters, so by all accounts, the 1980 P quarter is not rare when it comes to how many were made, but that's exactly what makes this story so incredible. You see, the value of a coin isn't always about how many were made, it's about how many survived in perfect condition or how many contain a rare and unexpected minting error, and that's where this particular 1980 P quarter becomes something truly extraordinary. Let's talk about the $1 million coin. This one specific quarter was discovered by a collector who immediately noticed something strange. It looked different, it felt different, and when weighed and tested, it turned out to be struck on a completely wrong planchet. This coin was not made from the typical copper-nickel clad material used for quarters in 1980. It was struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, possibly a silver alloy blank used during international minting contracts. At the time, the U.S. Mint occasionally helped produce coins for other countries, and sometimes blanks from those runs accidentally ended up in domestic presses. Not only was this coin struck on the wrong material, but it was also in nearly flawless condition. It was professionally graded as MS68, which means Mint State 68, almost perfect with razor-sharp details, full luster, and virtually no marks or damage. That combination of an ultra-rare mint error and a near-perfect grade is what drove the value into the stratosphere. When this coin was certified and authenticated, it became the focus of intense bidding among collectors and investors. The final sale price reached a staggering $1.6 million, making it one of the most valuable Washington quarters ever sold. Now, let's talk about what this means for you. Could you be holding one of these $1 million coins? The answer is maybe. It's rare, incredibly rare, but it's not impossible. These mistakes do happen, and they can go unnoticed for decades before someone finally takes a closer look. So, here's what to look for with your 1980 P quarters. First, check the edges. A normal quarter has a copper-colored stripe on the edge. If yours looks silver all the way through, it could be a sign that it's struck on the wrong planchet. Next, weigh the coin. A standard quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If yours weighs noticeably more or less, that could be another major clue. Also, check for high detail and condition. If your coin is unusually sharp with no scratches, dings, or signs of wear, it might be worth submitting to a professional grading service. And finally, never clean your coin. Cleaning a coin, even gently, can reduce its value instantly. Always leave it in its natural state and use gloves or a cloth to handle it. Even if your quarter isn't worth $1.6 million, a high-grade 1980 P quarter can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and any unusual features it may have. The bottom line is this treasure doesn't always come in shiny boxes or buried chests. Sometimes it's sitting in your kitchen drawer in a jar full of loose change. The story of the 1980 P quarter reminds us to stay curious and pay attention to the small things, because you never know what you might find. Thanks so much for watching and learning about this incredible piece of coin history. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories just like this one. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss another rare coin update, and let me know in the comments, have you ever found an unusual coin in your change, or do you have a 1980 quarter that you're about to go inspect right now? Until next time, keep looking, keep collecting, and maybe, just maybe, the next $1 million coin is already in your pocket. Would you like me to create a quick checklist or printable guide for spotting rare 1980 P quarters, or a condensed script for YouTube Shorts or TikTok? Let me know how I can help further. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about rare coins, coin collecting, and stories that will absolutely blow your mind. If you enjoy discovering how everyday change can turn into serious money, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And let's get right into today's unbelievable story. Rarest coins. We're talking about a coin that looks so ordinary. You probably have one in your pocket right now, but what if I told you one of these coins recently made headlines for selling at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? That's right, I'm talking about the 1990 D Washington quarter, a coin most people overlook, a coin so common that millions were minted and circulated across the country. And yet there's one that became the holy grail for collectors and sold for a price you usually hear about in luxury car auctions or art galleries. So how is that possible? Let's break it all down. First, some quick background. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It features his bust on the front, the obverse, and originally had a heraldic eagle on the reverse. That reverse design remained unchanged until the year 1999 when the 50-state quarters series was launched. The 1990 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, and the D Mint mark stands for Denver. In that year, the Denver Mint produced over 927 million quarters. That means these coins are absolutely not rare when it comes to quantity. So, how did one sell for $1.3 million? Let's talk condition and rarity. You see, even though nearly a billion of these were made, finding one in perfect, untouched condition is extremely rare. Most coins go through the wear and tear of machines handling storage and circulation before anyone even thinks to keep them safe. But here's where it gets crazy. One particular 1990 D Washington quarter was discovered in nearly flawless condition. It was graded by a top-tier grading service as MS68 Mint State 68. That means it's virtually perfect. No scratches, no marks, no imperfections. It's the kind of condition that makes collectors' hearts race. And it gets even better. This particular quarter had a rare die error, an extremely subtle double die reverse combined with a very strong strike and full luster on both sides. It was the kind of mistake that happens once in a million or more, and in a coin that's already almost perfect, it's what we call a unicorn in the coin world now. Put yourself in the shoes of a serious collector, someone who has millions to spend and is searching for a once-in-a-lifetime coin. A coin like this checks every box: mint, error, ultra high grade, and historical significance. That's how bidding went from thousands to hundreds of thousands and finally over $1.3 million. This coin was auctioned off by one of the largest and most reputable numismatic auction houses, and the story of its sale quickly spread through the coin collecting community like wildfire. So what does this mean for you? It means you need to check your pocket change, your coin jars, your piggy banks, and even those old coffee cans in the attic. The 1990 D quarter might not look special, but if you happen to find one in uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a visible mint error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Here's what to look for. 1. Check the condition. If the coin has no or sharp details and original luster, it may be worth submitting for grading. 2. Look closely at the reverse side of the coin. Search for any signs of doubling, especially around the letters and edges. A double die reverse is one of the most valuable types of mint errors. And 3. Never clean the coin. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. Always keep it as you found it, and let a professional handle grading and authentication. Even if you don't find the million-dollar coin, some high-grade 1990 D quarters still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the condition. And if you're really into collecting, consider investing in a good magnifier and even a beginner microscope so you can spot errors the average person would miss. So there you have it, folks, the 1990 D Washington quarter, a coin that 99% of people would never give a second thought. But that one lucky collector sold for $1.3 million because it was almost perfect and had an extraordinary error. It's another reminder that treasure isn't always buried. Sometimes it's in your change tray at the gas station or hiding in plain sight at the bottom of a drawer. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another rare coin story. Tell me in the comments if you've ever found a strange or rare coin in your change, or if you're heading to your coin jar right now to look for that 1990 D quarter. This has been your guide to one of the most shocking coin sales in modern collecting, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll dig into more unbelievable stories from the world of coins. Let me know if you want this adapted for a teleprompter version or shortened into a TikTok or YouTube short script. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button because today we're diving into one of the most shocking coin stories ever told. We're talking about the 1995 D Washington quarter dollar and how one of these coins, yes, a regular-looking quarter from your pocket change, has reportedly sold for over $1.2 million. Sounds crazy, right? But hang on, because there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932, originally introduced to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was supposed to be a one-year commemorative coin, but it was so popular that it stuck around and became the standard quarter we all know today. The design features George Washington's profile on the obverse, and for many years an eagle on the reverse, though that changed in 1999 with the 50-state quarters program. Now, let's focus on the 1995 D quarter. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where the coin was produced in 1995. Over 1.1 billion quarters were struck at the Denver Mint, which means this coin is not rare in terms of how many were made. So, how can a coin that's so common become worth over $1 million? That's where it gets interesting. The value of rare coins often comes down to one of a few things: a major minting error, an incredibly high grade, or a unique historical context. For the 1995 D quarter that sold for over $1.2 million, it was all about condition and perfection. This coin was graded by a top-tier grading service as MS 68 or Mint State 68, which is almost perfect. In fact, coins graded MS 68 or higher are incredibly rare, especially for a coin that was mass-produced and circulated. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how rare can it really be? Well, out of the over 1 billion 1995 D quarters produced, only a tiny handful have ever been found in that kind of pristine condition. Most coins fresh off the mint already have small flaws or tiny marks from being processed, so finding one that is nearly flawless is like winning the lottery. But there's more. Some 1995 D quarters have also been found with striking errors. These include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or missing clad layers. And when a rare mint error is combined with high condition, collectors go wild. In the case of the $1 million quarter, we're talking about a perfect storm, a nearly flawless coin from a common year, but in a grade so rare that only one or two might even exist. In that state, add in demand from high-end collectors' auctions, driving up prices, and the result is a quarter that looks like any other, but is worth more than a Lamborghini. And yes, it did go for over $1.2 million at a major coin auction, where bidders competed for the chance to own a one-of-a-kind piece of numismatic history. So what can you do? Check your change, look through your old coin jars. You never know what might be sitting in your dresser drawer. A shiny 1995 D quarter might just change your life. But remember, condition is everything. The best thing you can do if you think you found a special coin is don't clean it and get it professionally graded. All right, coin lovers, that wraps up our deep dive into the mysterious and insanely valuable 1995 D Washington quarter. Let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a coin like this, or if you're heading to your couch cushions right now to check. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for more rare coin finds and stories from history you won't believe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Would you like a short version for Instagram or TikTok too? Or do you want me to format it for a teleprompter or script reader? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we bring you the most incredible stories in the world of coin collecting. If you're into coins, currency, or just want to know if that change in your pocket could make you rich, you're in the right place today. We're diving deep into a coin that looks completely ordinary to most people, a coin you might have used at a vending machine or handed over at the gas station without thinking twice. But what if I told you that one version of this coin has sold for a record-shattering $1.4 million? Yes, you heard that right, $1,400,000 for a single quarter, and the coin in question is the 1998 P. Washington quarter. Now, you might be wondering, how in the world is that even possible? Well, buckle up, because the story behind this coin is going to blow your mind. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been part of American coinage since 1932. It was originally designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, and it became such a hit with the public that it stuck around as the standard quarter for decades. The obverse of the coin shows the famous profile of George Washington facing left, while the reverse, at that time, still featured the traditional heraldic eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and olive branches. That design stayed until the State Quarters series began in 1999. So now let's focus on the 1998 P quarter. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which produced over 896 million quarters that year. That's right, nearly a billion coins were struck. So on the surface, this coin seems incredibly common, but here's where things get interesting. As with many high-value coins, the real worth of the 1998 P quarter comes down to two critical factors. One is condition, and the other is error. The coin that sold for $1.4 million was not your average quarter. This particular specimen was found in what experts call perfect mint state. More specifically, it was graded as MS68, which is an almost unheard of condition for a modern circulating coin. Why is that so rare? Because coins go through a rough process. When they're minted, even fresh from the press, they're often bagged and shipped in bulk, leading to tiny marks and scratches. So finding a coin that's been perfectly preserved without a single flaw is incredibly difficult, especially from such a high mintage year. But condition alone wasn't what made this coin so valuable. This specific 1998 P quarter had an extremely rare and significant mint error. It was a transitional planchet error, which means the coin was struck on the wrong type of blank. Specifically, some experts believe it was struck on a 90% silver planchet left over from a test run, or possibly even from a foreign denomination being produced at the same facility. The end result, a coin that looks like a regular quarter, but weighs slightly differently, sounds slightly differently when dropped, and contains metal composition not typical for that year. Only a tiny number of these mint errors have ever been confirmed, and most were discovered completely by accident by collectors paying close attention. So now you have a coin that is not only struck in almost perfect condition, but was also minted on the wrong planchet, creating a one-of-a-kind specimen. That's the kind of combination that makes coin collectors and investors go wild. The bidding war for this coin started modestly, but when experts verified the error and confirmed its ultra-high grade, the price skyrocketed. Eventually, it sold through a well-known auction house for an eye-popping $1.4 million, setting a record for a modern quarter. Now, I know what you're thinking. Could I have one of these? The answer is maybe. It's extremely unlikely, but not impossible. These kinds of mint errors happen in secret and go undetected for years, sometimes decades. What you need to do is look carefully at your coins, especially your 1998 P quarters. Here's what to check. First, inspect the coin's edges. A different color of metal or a silver-looking ring might indicate it was struck on the wrong blank. Second, pay attention to the weight. A normal 1998 P quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If yours weighs more or less by a noticeable amount, get it checked out. Third, the condition matters. If the coin is flawless or near flawless with a strong strike, no scratches, and brilliant luster, you might be looking at something valuable. If you ever think you found something special, don't clean it and don't try to alter it. Send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for proper authentication and grading. Even if yours isn't worth millions, in 1998 P quarter in high mint state can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on rarity and demand. The bottom line is this: always check your change, always inspect your old coin jars. You never know what treasures could be hiding in plain sight. A single overlooked coin could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Thanks so much for watching and learning about one of the most surprising and valuable quarters ever struck, the 1998 P Washington quarter that shocked the world by selling for $1.4 million. Make sure to like this video if you learned something new, subscribe for more amazing coin stories, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. And let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Or do you have a 1998 quarter sitting at home waiting to be discovered? Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, maybe the next $1,000,000 coin is already in your pocket. Would you like a short version of this script for a YouTube short or TikTok next? Or maybe a printable checklist for spotting valuable quarters? Let me know. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the incredible stories behind the coins you use every day. If you're into rare coins, coin collecting, or just love hearing how ordinary objects turn into extraordinary treasures, you're in the right place. Rarest coins. Today we're talking about a coin that looks completely normal to the average person. You've probably seen it, spin it, or passed it by without a second thought. But this ordinary-looking quarter turned out to be one of the most shocking discoveries in coin collecting history. That's right, we're diving into the story of the 1996 P Washington quarter, a coin that usually goes for just 25 cents, but one rare version sold for a staggering $1.5 million. So how does something like this happen? How can a coin minted in the millions suddenly be worth more than a house or a Lamborghini? Let's take a look. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a part of U.S. coinage since 1932. It was originally released to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design stuck and became one of the longest-running designs in modern American coins. By 1996, the obverse still featured George Washington's bust facing left with the word Liberty above, and the phrase "In God We Trust" to the side. On the reverse was the familiar eagle design, perched with wings spread. This was the final era before the 50-state quarters began in 1999, which would change the reverse design for good. Know about the 1996 P quarter. The P mint mark tells us it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 925 million quarters, so clearly this coin isn't rare. By how many were made? So what makes it so valuable? This is where it gets interesting. One specific 1996 P quarter was discovered in absolutely pristine condition. We're talking about a coin that was graded MS 68, which means mint state 68, nearly flawless. That level of preservation is extremely rare, especially for modern circulation coins, because they're usually mass-handled, scraped, bounced, and bagged before they even reach your pocket. But here's the twist. This wasn't just a perfect condition coin. It also featured a dramatic mint error that made it one of a kind. This coin had what's known as a full strike on a transitional planchet. It was accidentally struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of the regular copper nickel-clad planchet used for all quarters that year. So what's a transitional planchet error? It happens when a coin is struck using a blank from a different year or metal composition that was either phased out or wasn't meant to be used anymore. In this case, the silver planchet should not have existed for quarters in 1996, but somehow it made its way into the coin press, and a Washington quarter was struck on it by mistake. This is incredibly rare. These kinds of errors don't happen often, and when they do, they usually go unnoticed for years. The lucky person who found it noticed something strange. The quarter had a different ring. When dropped, it was heavier and had a slightly different color. Under closer examination, it was confirmed to be struck on a silver planchet. Combine that with the nearly flawless MS 68 grade, and you have a once-in-a-generation find. A coin so rare and so perfect that collectors were willing to pay an absolutely jaw-dropping price. The coin eventually sold at a top numismatic auction for $1.5 million. It set a record for a modern-era quarter and stunned collectors across the world. Now here's the question: could you have one? It's extremely unlikely, but not impossible. These kinds of errors are like lightning strikes, but the people who find them are usually the ones who know what to look for. So here's how to tell if you might be holding something valuable. First, look for the mint mark. It should be a P for Philadelphia, but check the color and sound. A silver quarter has a cleaner, brighter ring when dropped and a slightly different edge. Silver quarters also weigh more. In normal clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver one is closer to 6.25 grams, so use a precise scale. If you have one, next look at the coin's condition. If it looks brand new with no scratches and full detail, it might be worth grading. Mint condition coins from common years can still bring in big money. And finally, consider getting it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. That's the only way to truly verify the grade and any mint errors. Even if you don't have the $1 million version, a 1996 P quarter in MS 66 or MS 67 condition could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right buyer. So what does this story teach us? It reminds us that treasure doesn't always come in gold bars or treasure chests. Sometimes it's hiding in your pocket right now. An overlooked coin with the right combination of condition and error could be your ticket to a life-changing payout. So the next time you get change at the grocery store or dig through an old coin jar, take a moment to look more closely. You never know what history or fortune might be sitting right in your hand. Thanks so much for watching and joining me on this deep dive into the mystery and value behind the 1996 P Washington quarter. If you enjoyed this story and want more like it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another coin that could make you rich. Have you ever found a strange coin in your change? Or do you have a 1996 quarter lying around? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, maybe the next $1 million coin is already in your pocket. Would you like this turned into a downloadable PDF or formatted for a YouTube teleprompter? Let me know if you want more scripts like this for other years or coin types. Welcome back to the channel, where we dig into the stories behind the coins that you carry every day. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, because you might be holding on to something that could change your life. Rarest coins. Today we're talking about a coin that almost nobody thinks twice about, a coin you've probably spent dozens of times without ever looking at it twice. But what if I told you that one of these coins from 1992 sold for over $1.1 million? Yes, you heard that. Right, $1.1 million for a Washington quarter from 1992, specifically the 1992 D quarter. So what makes this coin so special? Let's take a look at the history and the story behind this stunning discovery. First, let's talk basics. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 as a one-year commemorative coin to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. But the public loved the design so much that the government decided to keep it as the permanent design for the quarter by 1992. The design was still going strong. The obverse featured the familiar bust of George Washington, facing left with the word Liberty above, and the date below. The reverse featured the heraldic eagle with wings spread, a classic and powerful symbol that had been on the quarter for decades. Now, the 1992 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which is what the D Mint mark stands for. That year, the Denver Mint produced around 389 million quarters. That's a lot of coins. So just based on quantity, this coin is definitely not rare. But here's where it gets interesting. Even though hundreds of millions were made, only a tiny handful were struck with extraordinary quality and in some cases extreme mint errors. And when those two factors combine, you get the kind of coin that collectors are willing to spend serious money on. The specific 1992 D quarter that reached the $1 million mark was not just in excellent condition, it was in nearly perfect condition. We're talking about an MS68 or Mint State 68 grade. That is incredibly rare for a circulation coin, especially one from the 1990s. But it wasn't just the condition that made this coin worth over $1 million. This coin was also struck on a transitional planchet and had a major die error. A transitional planchet is a blank that was intended for a different coin or a different year. Sometimes the mint accidentally uses leftover planchets from a previous year or from coins made of different metal content. In the case of this 1992 D quarter, it was believed to have been struck on a 90% silver planchet left over from older proof coin production or test runs. That is a huge mistake, because by 1992, all circulating quarters were made of copper nickel clad, not silver. That kind of minting error combined with flawless or near flawless condition creates the perfect storm. It becomes one of a kind, a coin that no one knew existed until someone took a closer look. Now, let's talk about how it was discovered. This coin didn't come from a fancy collection or a museum. It was found by a collector who noticed something odd. The quarter felt heavier than usual. It had a different ring when dropped, and the edge didn't show the usual copper core. That collector sent it to a professional grading service, and the results were shocking. Not only was the coin struck on a silver planchet, but it was also graded in Mint State 68, nearly perfect preservation, with sharp strike, full luster, and no visible wear or damage. And just like that, the coin was authenticated and eventually sold at auction for $1.1 million. A modern quarter that looked just like any other, but turned out to be one of the rarest coins ever discovered. So, what does this mean for you? It means you need to start checking your change. Pay close attention to the weight, the sound, and the color of your coins. You don't need a huge collection to find something valuable. Sometimes it just takes one coin. Here's what to look for with the 1992 D quarter. Check the weight. A normal quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's heavier or feels different, that could be a red flag. Look at the edge. If it's missing the copper stripe or has a silver tone, it might be a transitional planchet error. Check for condition. A coin in near perfect condition is always worth more. If your 1992 D quarter looks flawless, it could be worth sending in for grading. And never clean the coin. Cleaning it can instantly destroy its value. Always store it safely and send it to a professional if you think it's rare, even if you don't have the $1 million coin. A 1992 D quarter in MS67 or MS68 condition can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on market demand. So, the next time you get change from the grocery store or sort through an old coin jar, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of American history worth far more than 25 cents. Thanks for watching and diving into the unbelievable story of the 1992 D Washington quarter worth over $1.1 million. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss another incredible coin story. Drop a comment below and tell me if you've ever found a strange or valuable coin in your change. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, And who knows, maybe the next $1 million coin is sitting right in your pocket. Would you like a version of this script optimized for YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, or maybe a visual checklist too? Show viewers what to look for. Let me know how I can help further.